Okay, we're live now. So what you do is you go ahead and go into Facebook,
Okay, go to Facebook.
and then you should be able to go to my page.
Facebook. Hold on, Mom. You can go to your page.
I'm gonna have to get off Wi-Fi because it's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Amber Nicole Speaks, Mom.
Yep. So go on there and then just go ahead and share it. Yeah, and just go ahead and share it. Yeah.
Mom, you don't have it sharing. Yeah, you do. I found it.
It should automatically. Chris, you can share it.
Did you tell them?
Who?
In the group chat. Yeah.
Yeah, I told them. I told them that we was gonna be on. And
Okay.
Sean said she was gonna be watching and stuff.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Did you share it?
Yeah, I shared it.
Okay.
How do you know when people are watching?
Right now it's 8 people watching.
Cool.
You could be able to see that. Okay, so oh dang, I didn't even get my wine. Dang, that's all right.
I didn't get my wine either.
That's okay.
Okay.
I guess I got water.
Yeah.
Will you give me some wine, please, babe? I'm gonna get some wine.
Dang,
I gotta help her.
I ain't got a man over here. No wine.
Okay, guys. So as you can see, we are doing my Let's Talk Fridays. So if you guys have watched anything that I've done last time, last week I did the Skin Deep edition with my friend. It's a 3-week, 3-part series. Last week I did it with one of my best friends. This week I'm doing it with my daughter, Jasmine, Miss Jazzy Jazz. Mm-hmm. Yes. So a little bit about us. I'll give you guys a little bit of background about us. So yes, this is my daughter. But if you guys listen to any of my story, then you know that I had her at 12 years old. Very, very young. And that technically I did not raise her. But I've been in her life for her whole entire life, but I did not raise her. So the questions and stuff that we're going to ask each other on the Skin Deep game is going to come off maybe a little bit different than the regular normal mother-daughter duo, because we don't have the normal mother-daughter duo. That's my daughter, but like I said, it's not the regular mother-daughter duo. So I'll explain you guys, might be some questions on here that maybe me or her may be uncomfortable to do on live. I'll try to be definitely as transparent as possible on my end, but obviously I have to make sure I respect my daughter at all times, and I don't want her to feel uncomfortable in any questions. So there may be some questions that I ask her that she does not have to answer. We'll go to something different. But you guys are still going to get to be able to see a little bit of the both of us. Honestly, she really is like a little mini me, even though I didn't raise her. But so we're gonna get to the questions. She'll be asking me a question first, actually. So I'll be the one answering one of the first questions. We're gonna do 6 questions. So I have 6 questions. Yes, my baby. I'll have 6 questions and she'll have 6 questions for me, and we will answer them, and you'll be able to see us our relationship, how a relationship looks like when you have adopted your child out, but you still remain in this child's life. So I hope you guys enjoy this, but also just be able to see things from a different perspective when you have not actually raised the child, but it's still yours. You gave birth to her. Mm-hmm. Okay. I got my wine too.
Lucky. I ain't got no wine. So you know.
All right. Oh, one more thing. Another thing, if you guys have any comments or questions, you go ahead and place those questions. We'll answer any questions that you guys may have at the end of the StreamYard. My bad. At the end of the live, and we'll make sure we answer them. We don't want to answer them really in the middle of that, because we want to get through the questions first. If you guys can just hold off to the end, but if you have comments, go ahead and comment. Say whatever you guys need to say along the way. We want you guys to enjoy this just as much as we're about to enjoy it. All right. Let's do it.
Okay. You ready, Mom?
No, but we can go.
Okay. So the first question I'm going to ask is, when do you feel closest to me?
I feel closest to, that's an easy question for me. That's an easy question for me. I feel closest to you when you come to me and ask me for advice. because that is the time when I feel like, okay, she's asking me from like a mom perspective. Mom, what'd you do when this happened? When you were younger, how'd you do this? When you had boyfriends, how did this go? Like when Jaden and JR was little, how'd that happen? Because she has a child, by the way, guys. So when you come to me to ask me questions, I feel closest to you because I'm like, obviously, you really value my opinion. So that makes me feel good to know that you love me enough to value what I have to say to you.
Yeah. Okay.
But let me pull the game up because it done closed out on me. So
Mom.
I know, right? I'm messing up.
Okay. It says, when do you talk about me the most and why?
Are you asking me another question now?
Yes, Mom. Are we supposed to like, are we going back and forth or?
Yeah.
Okay.
You was like, answer all my questions and I'll answer all yours.
I thought we were doing the 6 questions like that. Okay, we're gonna go back.
Go ahead and save that question.
Okay, I'll save it. Don't answer it.
Oh man, that's funny.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask this question to you, Jazz. What do you remember about the first time we met?
The first time we met.
Girl, you were so little.
I was. But you know what? Every time, the only thing that I remember from when I was so little, I can say, because I don't remember the first time we met, but the really thing that everybody, like the main thing that everybody says is that there was an incident that happened and I was like, you're not the mom around here. And then my mom and dad were like, technically, she is your mom, you know? So I do remember that incident. I remember it, and everybody keeps telling me about that. So
yes. So I remember that incident. And I kind of feel like Ashley might have been there during that time because it was one of the times we visited in Florida. But I remember that incident because first off, you were bad. I don't care what nobody say. You was a bad kid.
I was an experimental kid. Okay?
Miss
I wasn't
smart mouth, Miss I can say and do whatever I want, and you ain't gonna stop me. That was your little attitude. So when I said, listen, you can't do that, you was like, but you ain't the mom. Whoop. I didn't even know what to say about that. Like, okay, I mean, I am, but technically, like, I guess I didn't raise you, so I can't say I really can have much say in that. But I'm still an adult, though. Like, you know?
Right. How old was I?
Girl, maybe like 6, 7. You was little.
Okay.
You probably like 6 or 7.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. When do you talk about me the most and why?
Oh God, I talk about you all the time. Honestly, most of the time I talk about you most is when I do like videos. When I talk to my friends, obviously when I do videos, because I like to be very transparent about my life and not let people know that I obviously, if they may not see a lot of you all the time, they see Jaden, they see JR, but they don't see Jasmine that much because I didn't raise Jasmine. So I didn't talk about you as much, probably about 5, 6 years ago, probably about 6, 7 years ago. Okay. Probably been before that. But once I started like really coming into being okay with, okay, I did have a child at 12 years old. Okay, I was molested. Okay, I did go through these things, then it made me okay with being able to talk about you. Not that I was embarrassed about talking about you. It was more about the fact that when people hear you had a child at 12 years old, they're like, oh, well, she fast. Oh, well, and I feel like I shouldn't have to tell my story to every single body I talk to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I didn't want them to think negative about me. So I just didn't say anything about you. So, but now I'm like, yeah, I got a daughter. Yeah, she's 23 and I'm 35. Oh, well, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So most time I talk about you is usually on like my videos on live, just when it's an open forum for like basically to tell the world, like I have a child and she's 23 and I love her,
Yeah. Okay.
Your question would be, when do I make you laugh the most?
Okay. I think when you bring up memories about me being from when I was little, I think that's when you make me laugh the most, because it's like it's a memory and it's funny. So I think that's when I laugh the most.
And you was a little smart mouth kid.
Yeah. So when
that became a little smart mouth adult, but it's okay. It's okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Monique, definitely. It's definitely a touchy topic that I've learned to pretty much embrace. I agree.
Okay. Well, can I say something about it too, Mom?
Go ahead. Yeah, you can speak about it.
Because personally, like people asking me, about the situation, I always didn't want to tell the story either. It was always like, I don't want to tell my story, I don't want to know. Why do I have to tell you? So it was like growing up, it was hard. I didn't even understand until like, because I was like, oh yeah, my mom had me when she was 12. Oh yeah, And people are like, whoa. But I'm like, what? Until I got older, I'm like, whoa, I
She
didn't
had me at
start,
12.
yeah,
Whoa.
I didn't start to
Yeah.
understand until I was a little bit older. And then I'm like, dang, we're not so far in age. She's like my older sister, So I'm like, the older I got, I was like, whoa. But yeah,
Right.
now it's more, obviously I'm older, so obviously I understand more and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yes. And everybody obviously look at us and they were like, you guys look just alike. Is that your sister? Is that your No, this is my daughter. And I treat her like my daughter. I don't care if we 12 years apart. You still know you ain't drinking. No, you ain't doing it.
Yeah,
Mom, I'm 23. I don't care.
exactly.
You ain't 30.
Right.
So I still treat you like you my daughter. Like, I'm saying? You are my daughter, but I'm saying I don't treat you like we're friends,
Yeah, because we're so close in age.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your turn.
What do you think I need from you, and are you providing it?
Whoo.
Do you want to?
Okay. I would say what I think you need from me is probably more guidance. And the reason why I say that is because okay. Not to say anything a negative about your parents because they're amazing, but because they're older. So since I've experienced more of what you go through, it's easier for me to be able to guide you more through that or give you more of that advice because it's like, well, I've been there. I know how that turns out. I know how it is to be in that space. And so here's what you need to do, or here's what I suggest. Now, a lot of times, because you're like me, but we butt heads sometimes because you're so headstrong. But I'm the same way. I'm so headstrong. I'll listen to what I want to listen to, but if I don't want to listen to it, don't tell me. But you're the same way. So we butt heads. It's like, okay, I'm trying to tell you, and you need to just listen. And you're like, yeah, thank you, Mom, for that advice. I'll do what I want to.
Yeah.
Still, like,
Yeah.
So I would say that I do try to provide that for you, but it's up to you whether you decide you want to take that advice or not. Because at the end of the day, it is your life.
Facts.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, Chris said, I understand the culture that you resonate with. Yes, because your parents they're in their 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're in their 70s versus we're only 12 years apart. So it's like what they dealt with in their generation ain't got nothing to do with how we deal with things now. It's not the same.
Okay.
Is it my turn next to you? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Mom, it's your turn.
Describe a moment when you realized that I had changed for the better. When you seen change, when you seen that changed for the better.
Can it be personal? Okay. I think I've seen you. What I seen from what I saw, a big change to me for you was when you were done dealing with Adam's father. And I saw a really big change in you because I was there a little bit when some stuff was happening. So when you were finally done with him, I seen the growth, and I seen how happy you were. I seen more moments with you smiling, more pictures being posted, more positivity from you. So I think that was a big change to me for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for that. And I agree. And I talk about that often, that when I was in that situation, the space I was in, it was such a dark space for me. And I had such low self-esteem at the time. And once I ended that and I was done, I did finally start waking up like, wow, I am beautiful. Wow, I do have, more friends. Or wow, there is a whole world out here that I was missing out on. I was secluding myself from everybody else. So yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Look at you, girl. Okay, your turn.
Okay. If we went to high school together, do you think we'd be friends? Why or why not? So don't as like obviously you think of it just as we would be friends.
So yes, I agree. I think we will be friends because you're like me. You're like the good girl who likes to have fun. But I'm still the good girl, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you versus with you, though, what I will say is that you were a little bit more sheltered than I was. I was a little more out there, kind of, with the stuff that I did when I was your age or whatever. But as far as that, yeah, because we're the same in that aspect. Like I still have my morals and my standards, and I still won't do certain things. But at the same time, I like to have a good time. So
yeah.
Super goofy. I think you're way more goofy than me, but we're both pretty goofy and can't dance. But we can dance really good, though. Even though people say we can't, we're good dancers.
I'm telling you, I don't know why people think we can't dance.
Especially Chris. Chris always told me I can't dance. Child, I'm a good dancer. You don't know.
I be on a dance floor by myself dancing. Like people wish they was dancing like us.
Exactly. I'll be in the club like, oh, ain't nobody else dancing. That's okay. I'll dance by myself. It's okay. In the middle of the dance floor, just me.
Back by myself dancing.
Justice said we can't dance. Chris said I'll be protecting you from getting bullied.
Oh my gosh. You can dance, bro.
Yes, Nydia. So many women do go through go through that and lose themselves in bad relationships. I agree. Which is why now I try to pretty much promote not being in those moments and having self-confidence. Okay. Is it my turn or your turn?
Is it?
Oh, it was your turn. You asked me that question. I asked you because that was the dance question. I mean, that was the friends in high school.
Yes.
I guess I'll ask this question, but we kind of answered it a little bit. How am I most like you, and how do you feel about that?
I guess we did answer this question, but I'll answer it again.
Or you most like me? I guess that would be that question because
okay,
I'm the parent.
Yeah. I feel like how we're most like each other is our stubbornness. We are both, we're both headstrong people, and when we come into a conflict, since we're so headstrong, I feel like that's but I mean, besides that, we look like each other, because everybody's always saying it. Yeah, y'all look like each other. Y'all look like
twins. You look just like your mom.
Yes, I know. I'm like, I know. So besides.
Oh, I think your Wi-Fi might be messing up. Maybe. No, it is. Sheesh. All right. So while we wait for her to get back on, is there anybody that have any questions or anything at this time? Any comments that you want to make? Jazz, I think your Wi-Fi is like going in and out. Yes, Justice. Tierra, yes. Always, ever since I was little, I was always dancing. It didn't matter. I'm hitting this dance floor, doing whatever. All right, so guys, looks like her Wi-Fi may went out. We'll have to wait for her to join back on. It's okay, it happens. Is there anybody that has any questions? Oh, it looks like she's in right now already. Let me add her back to the stream.
Yeah, I said the Wi-Fi messed up.
Yes. All right. So you were saying how we were both stubborn, obviously headstrong.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Because what was the question, Mom? How we're so much alike?
Yeah. And how do you feel about it?
Okay. There's a lot of ways where like, let me see. Besides the stubbornness, how we dress. We dress the same. Everybody's like, "Oh, your mom is like dressing like you." I'm like, I know. My
No,
mom.
she dressed like me.
I was like, my mom is still a young mom. You know, it goes both ways though, because it's like when my friends are telling me, they're like, "Oh, your mom is still wearing Nike and da." I'm like, yeah, my mom dresses like me, but then it's like, you're still young, so you dress like that, you know, like.
Exactly.
You know? It's like, but it's because you're my mom that they're like, oh, your mom is still dressing young and you know. But I actually like that because I mean, you know, it's pretty nice that we have the same style.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that.
So that answers the questions and what it says, like, how do you feel? How do you feel about it? So, and what about the stubbornness? How do you feel about that?
That's kind of rocky because, like, you know how stubborn people feel. They want you to understand them, but when you're both stubborn, you know, ain't nobody understanding until we both like part ways, and then we think about it, and then we're like, okay, so she probably was right on this end, and you know, we could have did things differently, but you know, we have to pull away for us to be like, okay, because we're so stubborn, yeah. So
I was like, all right, well, I'm not about to talk to her for a couple of days because she's not trying to see my side. So
exactly. So it's like that's a big thing, but I feel like we've come a long way from that though. Like
yeah.
I feel like we're still working on it, but I feel like we've come a long way from it.
Yes, I've learned to kind of just agree to disagree, I guess. Like, okay, well, maybe she doesn't agree with me, but at the end of the day, she is her own woman. She is growing into herself. She does have her own ways, and she doesn't have to do every single thing I say. Like how I do things, she don't have to do the same thing. Doesn't mean that the way you do it is wrong. It just means it's just not the way I would do it.
Right.
So, all right, your question's next.
What has our relationship lost over time, and how do you feel about it?
Oh wow, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I can actually answer that question because if anything, I feel like we've gained because we lost so much before. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna answer on the flip side because I can't answer the lost part because I don't feel like we've lost anything because we are just now getting to where we are right now. So we don't. So I will say, you know, I'll be honest, is that there was a point in time where we only seen each other like maybe once a year or something like that when you moved away to when you was all over the country moving with your parents. So like when you were all over the place, I didn't see you at that often. So at that time we lost me being able to see you grow up. And that was more like when you're like 8, 9, 10, like, you know what I mean, 11, like in that age range or whatever.
Right.
It wasn't until you probably got, I would say probably about 15, 16 when you were like, all right, I want to be around my mom and my other side of the family. Like, yeah, maybe this ain't what y'all want, but this is what I want. So this is what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? And so it was about then that age range when you're about 15, 16, when you was like, okay, I really want to know my other side of my family. And so from there is we've been building. We haven't really lost much in that time. We've really just been building since then because of that. When you were little and you didn't have much of a choice, we lost so much during that time.
Right.
So we're not losing. We're gaining, if anything.
I feel the same.
All right. Let's see what the next question is for you. These questions are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we weren't related, how well do you think we'd get along?
I think we get along pretty well because I mean we are the same, but then again, opposites attract. So I feel like we probably would get on each other's nerves to where we probably stop being friends. You know how those friends fall out, but then they come back. I feel like we'd probably be those friends. Like we be the, because we are so much alike, and you know, like we have good vibes. It's like not that, it's just, you know, we probably would have our times to where we would fall out as friends and come back, obviously, you know.
Once we be like, okay, I might have been a little bit immature about that. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed your friendship.
Exactly.
Especially, obviously, if we're friends, we'll be the same age, clearly. So
Right.
clearly, 12 years apart, although we're close in age, we're still far. So there's still things you do at 23. At 35, I definitely don't do.
Yeah.
Too old for that.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Okay.
I don't lost count. I don't lost
Yeah,
count.
bro. This is the last one. This is 6.
Okay.
It says, what's keeping us from each other lately?
I guess the only thing that will keep us will be distance.
Distance.
Because you're in Texas and I'm in Florida. And probably our schedule, because you're a college student, you're a mother. So I have a business that I'm running. So we both equally have a lot going on between ourselves. You work. So it's like, you are like, when do you have time? You have a lot going on.
Yeah.
And you having a business, I have a lot going on. So those things keep us distant, because it's like, okay, we'll text sometime, throughout the day here and there. But as far as like seeing each other often or anything like that, like we honestly seen each other recently back to back. But you're here in June, turned around, came back in August.
Right.
But that would probably be it. The distance and then the time, because we are so busy. But we still find times to connect, whether me texting you in the morning or us FaceTiming, but normal stuff.
Yeah. You're right.
All right. So since that was your last question, you started, so this will be my last question. How would your life be different if I wasn't a part of it?
So I feel like it would be a little different, because if you weren't a part of it, that means my brothers wouldn't be a part of it, So it's like I wouldn't have a connection with them. So I feel like it would be a little different, because like the bond I have with my brothers now is different from the bond we didn't, because we're still growing on that bond. So it's like I feel like my life would probably be a lot different.
Right. I mean, even the extended family aspect of it, because obviously, since I'm your mother, then how would you be a part of Grandma Dana's life? How would you be a part of Anna's life? How would you be part of Aunt Niecy's life? Like, you would have to have me to be able to connect with them as well, because that's my cousin, my mom, my aunt. You know what I'm saying? So it will be different for you, because you wouldn't have them either, and you have such close relationships with them as well. So it will be very different for you, definitely.
Yes, it would be. I don't even know what kind of life it would be, because I am close with that side of my family. Like I'm close with some I'm close with, some I'm close with than others. So it's like my life would probably be a lot different.
And with the family aspect, because you are, from what I see, you seem to be more closer with my side of the family versus your parents' side of the family.
Yes.
Like we said, it's also because they're older.
Yeah.
So their generation is older. They don't really have anyone over there that's your age range to really click with, to hang out with. Like, they don't have that over there. So it's like, yeah, I love you, but being able to connect with you and hang out, like, you guys are, 50, 60, older. 70, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So with over here on my side of the family, got a lot of kids. So it's like you got people over here that you can hang out with, that you can talk to, that you can connect with. Obviously, Aunt Justice, she's still on here. You guys are 6 months apart, so you guys are the same exact age, my sister. So you guys connect as well. So.
Yes, we connect. Yes. Love you.
You're a mess. All right. Is there any? So we asked the 6 questions. I hope everyone got a chance to enjoy this. Yes, Justice is 6 months older. Let her make
Oh
sure
my
she
gosh,
let
we
people
get
know.
it. We always get it. But guess what? At the same time, every year, we are the same age. Okay.
She said, "I'm the daddy. I'm grown." She is a mess. Y'all both 23 right now.
Thank
She
you.
won't
Let
be
me
24
know.
until November, which seems forever away. So therefore, you guys are the same exact age, just 6 months apart. But I hope everyone enjoyed this. Is there any questions that any of you guys have for me or Jasmine before we hop off? Anybody have anything that they want to say? Any comments anybody wants to make? Did your friends tune in to your live to the live?
Yes, a lot of my friends did.
Were they asking any questions or saying anything to you?
One of them was saying that they didn't know that I wasn't really like they knew that I wasn't raised with you, but they thought we were like they didn't know that when I had separated from you at 8, 9, and 10, they thought you were still around, because it was an open adoption.
Yeah, yeah.
So they didn't know that. They were like, oh, so there was a time when she wasn't in your life. I was like, yeah, like she wasn't always there.
Mm-hmm. Is there any questions that anybody may have that maybe either adopted a child out, or any questions along that realm that one answers to, or anything like that? We're open or I'm open to answer any of those questions. Aw. She said Denise said you're just as beautiful as me. I mean, you are my child, so
I mean, I do
thank
look a
you,
little better
Denise.
because I'm younger, but thank you.
Don't pump her head up any more than it already is, please.
Oh my gosh, Mom, when people say that we look just alike, you be like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know I'm beautiful.
Facts.
Anything else, guys? Anybody else have anything else they want to say? All right, Jazz. Well, while we're waiting to see if anybody has to say how did you think this went to how you thought it was going to go?
Woo! I ain't even got my wine to sip, but I sure thought it was going to be something different. I didn't think it was going to be like so simple. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, because I saw you in Tanet's video and I was like, oh, it wasn't bad. It was just like, you was asking real questions.
Deep
So
questions, yeah.
I was a little worried because, I want to open up. So yeah, I was getting a little shy and a little nervous, but I think it went pretty good. It was easier than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See? I sound like it's not gonna be that bad, but I knew that it would be a little bit difficult for you because I'm used to being on live. I'm used to talking. I'm used to being open. I'm used to being transparent. And that's not something you're always so open about, at least not on live. Like usually you might talk to your friends or something about it, but to put your business out there for everybody to see is like, wait, hold on. Like, what I mean? Do I really want to do that?
It's different.
Yes. Tiara asked a question. She said, do you feel like you made the right choice? Me, Amber, at the time. Okay, so I've never got asked this question, but it seemed like it'd be some common answer. So, do I feel like I made the right choice? Basically, giving you up for adoption. And what I will say is yes, because as a 12-year-old in 6th grade trying to raise a child is pretty much impossible. I mean, you can't even get a job at 12 years old doing pretty much nothing, you know what I mean? And at that time, you know how like now you see like little mini 8-year-old entrepreneurs and all that stuff.
I know.
We didn't have that in my generation. We didn't have not that it couldn't be, it's just not something that was popular that was talked about. So it was like, okay, well, how am I going to be able to take care of this child? And plus, like we talked about, Justice and you are 6 months apart. So it's basically like having twins in the household. So for Grandma Dana to be taking care of twins, no, like, what I mean? Yeah. Especially the financial situation we was living in, the household that we lived in, it was not in a good area. It was not a very clean environment. So their parents, they lived in a big, nice, huge house, nice neighborhood, well established at the time. only her dad had a child, her mother didn't have any kids, so it was, and no children were in the house, so Jasmine was the first child that they had, so it was perfect because it was like she'll be spoiled by these rich people basically, you know what I'm saying, at the time, in a nice big home, nice environment. They were really good people, they went to church, so you had a better upbringing with them than I would have ever been able to give you. You wouldn't be who you are right now if you had to live with me. Probably be a little ratchet, but you know. Little Justice. Justice, you still on here? You'll be a little ratchet, Justice.
Right, because I'm always getting called the good girl. I'm always the good girl.
So not that obviously you're a lot like me, but that environment, who knows if you would have at 12 years old, how much influence I would have been able to have over you being who you should have been, you know what I mean, raising you, teaching you how smart you are, you know what I mean, how, who knows how I would have been able to do that, you know, because I'm 12, like I'm trying to have fun and play with my friends and be out in these streets. Like I'm not trying to be in the house being a mother when I don't know what a mother even is, you know. Thank you. I let an adoption situation bother me for a long time. How did you I let adoption situation bother me for a long time. How did you overcome? Tier, the way I overcame that was just being able to be in her life, because I was able to see her grow. I was able to see who she become. I was able to see the environment that she was in. And I will say that because a lot of people don't do open adoption. Some people do closed adoption. So what I would say to those people at that time is that you chose the people that you was with because you trusted that those people would be able to take care of your child, and just stick to that. Say, you know what, I trusted that these people would be the best people, and I'm just going to be okay with that, and don't have the regrets and all that. You know, they may come, but you have to have faith in yourself and knowing that you did the best you could at that time. Even if it didn't always turn out the right way, you still did the best you could with your thought process at that time, and you have to be okay with that and not beat yourself up about that, because you were doing what's best for your child and not just doing something just because. Hope that helped you. Does anybody else have any questions? I got some company here. She won't get on live because her hair not done, but my bestie Ashley is here. So we're gonna be drinking some things a little bit more harsh once we get off this live. Yes, Ashley, I don't think parents get enough credit for making the tough decisions. The end goal is giving the child more than you can offer at that time. And that's exactly what I did at that time. I knew that I could not do it. And that, so giving her up to someone that could do it, that was in a better position, that was at the age that they were at, they were very established. It was the best decision at the time. And I wouldn't take it back. She wouldn't have the little spoiled brat life that she has right now. If she had to be with me, she would have been through the struggle.
Spoiled brat.
The kid is spoiled. Regardless what she got to say, she's spoiled. And she's been spoiled her whole life.
Spoiled.
Go ahead. How many times do you hear the word no when you want something?
Huh? Well, now since I'm older.
Oh, it don't count now. You 23, you a grown woman.
Right, but it counts. Because now everything obviously is about Jalen, you know? So I get a no often. I get a no very often.
Well, yeah. Well, because your son, my grandson, he overtakes for you. You ain't in no more. You ain't in. He next.
Nope.
Girl, yes. Ashley said you are amazing, Mom Jazz. Can you see the comments?
Thank you.
I
Hold
think
on.
you might have to turn the comments on your laptop.
Because I don't see the comments.
Yeah, you would have to turn. It's something on there that you have to turn it on.
Okay. Tell Ashley I said thank you though.
Of course, Chris would say, "Don't lie to you."
Dang, he always got something smart to say. He can't
Always, little smart mouth. That's okay. When me and him go on live next week, you can talk all the stuff
You know I am.
be all up in the comments.
I'm gonna be in the comments.
He talking about your hair when your hair
always
looks good right now.
I see the comments.
He said he gonna block you. Oh my god.
He gonna block me so he won't be able to read them, but everybody else will.
Exactly. You can still comment because I don't have you blocked. He just can't see what you gotta say.
Facts.
Oh.
Is anybody else asking questions? I want to know. I can't see them.
Ashley told Chris he need to do a squat. You see that video that I posted? What he was doing? No, go look on my my Facebook page.
When Chris was helping you work out?
Yes, you seen it? He was doing that baby squat.
Doing nothing. I was like, dang, who taught you how to do squats, my guy?
Oh man. He was being lazy.
He was. You was doing all the work. I was like, you ain't even doing nothing. How you tired?
He trying to push me to work harder, and we supposed to be doing a couples workout.
Right. I was like, dang.
Oh man. All right. Is there anybody else that has anything else that they want to say before we hop up off here? Okay. No, he didn't try to say he weak. He don't know.
He don't. Mom, he broke your nail?
Girl, no. I broke my own dang nail. Put my shoes on.
I was trying to do the same thing.
Oh, Nicole has a question. She said, do the adoptive parents interfere with your relationship?
Who is the question for?
You.
Oh, sorry. No, but yes. Like, I feel like any parent, you know, in that situation is going to feel some type of way because you raise a child and then to have a child like not even go looking, because obviously I knew you, but it was like to build that bond and relationship, you know, it kind of hurt them because, you know, they raised me, which is normal. Mm-hmm. But it was like, you know, it was always like a rough patch because it was like sometimes discussing and talking about wanting to visit you was like, oh, you know, they were curious and, you know, they were always, you know, in my business and in my ear. And I was like, okay, so it's normal for y'all to feel this way, you know? Mm-hmm. Being, because I was like 18 at the time, you know what I'm saying? So it was like me being 18, I was like, I understand where y'all are coming from, but it's like, I wanted to, you know, build that relationship with my mom. So I can sit here and either listen to what you guys are saying and then just leave it alone, or I can sit here and listen to what you guys are saying and go see, you know, things on my end and how I want to pertain it and stuff like that. So it was difficult, but, you know, older now, it's nothing, you know, it's not the same as it was when I first was trying to build a relationship with you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I'll chime in on that a little bit. So I think it really had to do with like a little bit how you said, like, well, you want to build this amazing relationship with your mom, but I'm your mom, you know, I'm your dad, you know, I raised you, mm-hmm. I paid for everything, mm-hmm. I do everything for you. She doesn't do that stuff, you know what I mean? So it was more like that. It was like that bitterness a little bit, but it was like, well, we don't hate her obviously because she hasn't done anything to us. It's just more of the fact that she didn't raise you as her child. You know, she didn't take care of you. She didn't send us no money to make sure you're good. But at the end of the day, legally, you're not my child. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was more of that back end of you just not them just they agreed to something and then they kind of wanted to back out of it after you wanted to have more of a relationship than they thought it would be. They thought it was going to be more like, well, maybe you'll come visit a little bit and you'll say hi
Mhm.
and then you'll go on your merry way, you know.
Mhm.
But you was more like, no, this is my family. I actually want to stay the night at the house. I actually want to go over there on weekends. I actually want to spend the summer there. I actually really want to build a genuine relationship. I don't just want to say hi, bye, hi, how you doing? Okay, bye now. You know, it was really you wanted to really build a relationship, and I think it was more like they just kind of didn't expect you to gravitate to me as much as you did.
Right.
So it was more like you call her mom.
Mhm.
What has she done for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Yeah, because like it was. I mean, it's still a learning thing because in some situations I have like, okay, those are my parents. Okay, but that's my mom. So it's like I'm like, mm. It's like in some situations I have to really like sit there and really think. Okay,
Who am I going to go with on this one?
yeah.
hmm
Hmm.
Yes. So, Nicole, hopefully that answers your question. Oh, Doris asked, do you think that relationship influenced their decision to move out of the area? Um, for as far as I know, I don't think so. I think they moved out of the area more so because it was more job related.
Hmm.
Where her father was really trying to he lost a position, he was trying to regain that position somewhere else, and it was very difficult, and he was pretty much just kind of chasing that wherever he can get it, that's where he was going to go. So I don't think it really had that much to do with our relationship, at least as far as I know. I've never asked them, but from what I've seen, it didn't have much to do with our relationship and more to do with their financial situation and trying to be at the best that they could be. And Jasmine has three other sisters. Three,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Jasmine has three other adoptive sisters. So like it isn't just her in their home. So I'm sure them dealing with that at the time. It was three at the time, it's four now, but it probably was a little bit more difficult for them financially from having no children at all and oh well, one child, I guess, but that child was an adult. So having an adult child to having a baby and then having two or three more babies all around the same age range. It's like, okay, we need money. Like,
Yeah.
because we thought we had money when we didn't have kids, but now we got kids, we need more. So it's more about the chasing the job thing. I don't think it had anything to do with our relationship. Yes, Nicole. Yes, I'm dealing with the same exact thing. What is some things that you are dealing with, Nicole? Is it adoption or is it dealing with trying to be a parent to a child that you adopted out? Or is it the flip side where you adopted a child and trying to allow the mother to be able to have a relationship with the child? Oh, ooh-wee. My hair looks a mess. I thought it looked cute in the mirror. It don't look so cute on this video though.
Yes, it does, Mom.
Where's Jalen?
Mom, what's today?
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. We have a question from Ashley. She said, how do you explain to your friends or how do you feel when you have to explain you have two moms? Are you hesitant to answer or are you used to it?
Ask the question again, Mom.
Okay. It's how do you explain to your friends
Hmm.
or how do you feel when you have to explain that you have two moms? Are you hesitant to answer or are you just used to it?
A little bit of both. Sometimes I'm still hesitant to answer because then when you tell people you have two moms, you got to tell a story. I don't always feel like everybody needs to hear my story, so it's a little bit of both. When I do explain though, I'm fine with explaining now. I'm more so from when I would have done it a couple years ago. I probably wouldn't have been. It was still like touchy. More
Mhm.
so now, as me being older, I'm fine with explaining that I have two moms. But again, I don't always, because when people ask you, oh, you have two moms, or not ask me, but when people hear that I have two moms, they want to hear the story and stuff. And I don't always want to explain the story, so it just depends.
Yes. So that kind of goes along with how I was saying how like I always talked about JR and Jaden, but you talking about you, it wasn't as much. So then when I started talking about you, it was like, yeah, I have a daughter. How many kids you got? First, sometimes it was two, sometimes it was three. It depended more on who I was talking to, So it was like now it's three, no matter who I talk to. But that was more that same thing. It's like I don't want to have to say I got three kids, a 20-year-old, a 16-year-old. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what?
Mhm.
Well, how old are you? You had her really
Right.
young. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Now I just get used to it. Yes, I did, and just leave it at that. If they have
Right.
questions, I'll answer a little bit depending on who they are. But at the end of the day, yes, I had a child young, and that's all you need to know. Whatever you want to take from it, however you want to take it.
Right.
I
It's how
don't
you
care.
take from it. Yeah,
It is-
and that's how
I
I
just
am
think it is what
sometimes
it is.
too. Like when people are like, they're like, "Oh, your mom had you when she was young." Yeah. Oh, you have two moms. Like sometimes I don't, unless they ask questions like you just said, I don't explain. I'll be like, yeah. So I be thinking in the back of but sometimes I do think in the back of my mind when I leave that person, what do they think? Do they think my mom, just was out here, like, do they think, But then I'm like, I don't care because I personally didn't feel like explaining myself. So
Yeah, your mom is wild. Your mom was a little thought out here having kids at 12. I mean, she got pregnant at 11? Where they do that at?
I know. But then when they hear the story, they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, But then it gets me when people ask, because they don't just ask that question. Then they start asking more questions. So it's
Yo,
like you find out, and then they're like, okay, so how is your parents now? How is your, like I'm like, dang,
nosy.
right? Now I don't even want to explain to you the story no more.
Well, the nosiness is what helps build my business. So, you know what I'm saying? No, so
I feel you.
obviously, since I'm so open and transparent about my life and what I've been through, and just open, because people are nosy. They really want to know. Oh, your mom had you when she was 12. Oh, she was pregnant at 11. Oh, well, who's the dad? Where he's at? Where's, well,
Yeah.
he doesn't exist. That's where he is. Oh, Maria Nicole, my second born was adopted and he's now 30 and is constantly bombarded by the other family about his connection to me and my family. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. It is normal. It's it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we thank you for giving her to us, and we want you to have a relationship with her, but at the same time, we want it to be known that we're her parents and you are not. You know what I mean? So I get it, Nicole. Ashley. Yes. Ashley said that's none of their business. Basically, your whole backstory. If you say my mom, I have two moms. One mom I live with, my mom I don't. My mom is this age, whatever. Other than that, anything else is none of their business.
Yeah.
Unless you want to explain it.
I want to explain it. But yeah, that's the thing. I always felt like, dang, they was always being nosy. Because, people can't just ask a question when they find out, oh, your mom had you at 12. Oh, and now they want to know. They want to know way more. Now they're, oh my gosh,
12?
Yeah. So I be like, dang, because I didn't even realize it. It's funny because I used to just say it like, yeah, my
Like
mom had
nothing.
12. Yeah, my mom had you. So it's like, as I got older, I was like, wow, my mom had me when she was 12. Me being a 12-year-old, I'm like, wow, imagine having a baby as well, So it's like, it actually made me understand more things growing up, because, like every child who, is given up for adoption has thoughts and stuff like that, So it's like, I feel like it really has like maybe understand some things.
So was there any moment where you maybe had some anger? Would you say?
Yeah. I feel like anger towards both sides, like anger towards you and anger towards obviously the father of my child, the father of me, who I don't know, I had anger towards both of you guys. So it's like, but I mean, I didn't understand. So my anger was like me not understanding the situation and how it came about and stuff like that. Just hearing it was just like, okay.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So I
He
was
was
like,
20 something, she was 11. Okay.
yeah. So I was
What does
like,
that mean?
right. So like me when I was younger and the situation happened, my parents tried to explain it. I was sometimes, I'd be like, okay, well, why doesn't she want me now? Stuff like that. So it was like growing up, I had some issues with it. I had to really like understand the situation and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's all something that you have to be more of an adult, 18, 17, 18, 19, for you to really be able to get that, because no one understands what molestation is at
Right.
13, 14. Okay, well, what is that?
Right.
I don't understand what that means. So I get that. And that's very understandable and it's normal. Courtney said, I remember, I absolutely love your opening up and your honesty. Y'all story will help someone. Definitely. Yes. And that's the point, to be able to open up and be able to help people and just not have that regret of, dang, I adopted this child out. Did I make the right decision? Was it something good for me? Or, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we have another question. She said, Doris asked, now being an adult and understanding everything, do you feel things were handled properly, satisfied in terms of the justice aspect? Let me think. Now being an adult and understanding everything, do you feel? Oh, this is for you, Jasmine. Is it? Oh, it's for me. No, it says Amber. I just completely skipped that part. Amber. I went straight to the now being an adult.
Right.
Now being an adult and understanding everything, do you feel things were handled properly, satisfied in terms of the justice aspect? I guess there was some moments, sometimes where I feel like things weren't handled properly because there were terms that we agreed to that didn't happen. But at the same time, I understand now that I didn't understand when I was like 18, 19, because obviously she was around at that time. And I was like, why can't I see her? Why is she moving all over the country? Why can't I do this? I was like, my financial situation at the time was damn near null and void, like, struggling financially. So me being able to come see you was one thing, and you coming to see me was really more so trying to protect Jasmine, if anything, because okay, I think I might be answering the question wrong. Let me read it again. Now being don't understand everything, do you feel things were handled properly in terms of justice aspect? I think they may be talking about your dad. I think.
Ask the question again, Mom.
It says, Amber, now being an adult and understanding everything, do you feel things were handled properly, satisfied in terms of the justice aspect? And I will say yes. So this is a part of it that I don't talk about often, but I don't have a problem with talking about it. So he got 60 years. So, 60 years for that.
Okay, Mom, I was confused because I thought you were talking about Henry. I am so sorry.
No, not Henry.
Mad.
No.
Okay, sorry. I got confused.
He's her adopted father, by the way. But yes, so he got 60 years. So she's only 23. So he got a whole long time to go before she be gonna be 60 before before he gets out. So I think the justice system was definitely handled properly in that situation. I agree. And I think a lot of times another thing I don't say is the fact that a lot of girls don't open up about things that happen to them when they're younger. And so a lot of justice isn't taking place. I fortunately, I will say fortunately, had no choice because I got pregnant. Had I not gotten pregnant, I can't say I would ever said anything. I may have just held it in, suppressed it, and I might be a whole total different person now because I haven't healed and learned from it. So I will say,
you would say that you healed and learned from it, like you healed from it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've healed from it, which is why I'm able to talk about it now and be okay with it. There was a time where I couldn't say nothing, so I'm healed from it. I'm over it. I've moved past it. I've dealt with it, and I feel like God put you through certain things in your life for a reason, and you either learn to grow from that and learn that lesson and become a better person, or you let that situation make you bitter, angry, and hurt. And then you operate out of that hurt space. And being the person that I am, I can't operate out of the hurt space because I love people too much. All right. Is there anybody else that have anything else they want to say? Any questions they would like to ask? Oh, I seen Ashley, not a question, but a comment. She said her dad was adopted and brought to the U.S. from Germany. So yes, your dad understands.
Can we ask questions to each other still or no, Mom?
Go ahead. You want to ask me a question?
Yeah. Just about the dad subject.
Go ahead.
I just was curious, like, he obviously knows about me, right?
Yes.
Has he ever reached out before?
To me?
To anybody in the family?
If he has, I don't know. They never said anything to me. He's definitely never reached out to me or tried to say anything to me or try to talk to me. I remember grandma saying many years ago, and honestly, I can't remember how long ago it was though. So at least 20 years ago, because you was really little. But I remember her saying that he may have tried to reach out to her through somebody else. She wasn't telling me. I was really just overhearing her talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't listen. She said she didn't want to hear nothing he had to say. Other than that, no, I can't. I don't know if he's tried. If he has, I don't know nothing about it, and he hasn't tried with me, or he hasn't succeeded in his attempt to try. If he has tried,
okay.
He may just accept his punishment and just going on and just going on with it. I mean, it's been 23 years now.
Dang.
You really can't see the comments?
No, I don't know if it's just not pulling up on my end.
I don't know how to. Maybe because I'm the host of it, and there's certain things.
Like my friends were telling me they were trying to comment, and they can't comment because they're not friends with you.
Oh, they still I thought they still could.
Because like one of my friends were trying to comment, and they were saying all they can do is like it and like put like they're not allowed to comment.
Oh, we have another question for you, Jazz. It says about your biological father. Chris said, "Do you want to meet him or have a conversation with him?"
Well, you asked that. Sometimes I can't even say I want to meet him because it's not that I want to meet him. Okay, I want to meet him, but I just want to know what he's like. I mean, that's anybody. Like, I just want to see what he's like because obviously I probably have, some things about me.
Oh yeah.
That is like,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I could be like, oh, well, that's where I get that from. I mean, I just want to know what he's like personally. I don't want to build a bond with him more say.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you remember saying this to me, but it was several years ago though, where you pulled up a picture of him on your phone and you was like, "Do you remember that?" And he was like, "Mom, is this him?" Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So you pull up a picture on the phone and you was like, "Is this him? Is this my dad?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's him." And then you said at that time, you was like, "How would you feel if I wanted to meet him?" And I said, I mean, I don't want to have nothing to do with him. Not that I'm not healed from it or whatever, but I would never keep you from starting a relationship with him because despite how you came about, he still took part in it. You know what I'm saying? So you are still a part of him. So it wouldn't bother me for you to be able to see him and speak with him because that's your personal journey. And I will never keep you from your own personal journey and what you want to do for yourself. Let's see. Courtney said, "Is there anything that you want to say to him? Is there anything that you would like that you would say to him?"
Honestly, I don't even know my reaction would be when I first see him because I would have to take into consideration I'm here because of the situation,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I would have to literally look at this man and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how my reaction would be. I can't sit here and tell you I wouldn't be angry or I wouldn't be sad, or, you know, I would have so many emotions at that moment. It would be
Mm-hmm.
so many thoughts running through my mind because it's like, you know, the situation that took place. So I don't know how I would possibly react. I don't even know the first words I probably would ask him.
Right. And then she said, "Was there anything I would want to say?" Courtney, if there's anything I would say to him, honestly, it would just be that I forgive you. I forgive you for what you've done to me. I'm not holding on to it no more. I suppressed it for many, many, many years. It was part of the reason why I had that was another reason why I had such low confidence in who I am. But now I'm not in that space no more. So now I'm able to say, like, I forgive you. I can move on. I don't never have to see you again in life, but I forgive you for what you've done. And most what I've learned what I've learned in the business that I'm in now is that he most likely was in a hurting space. So hurt people hurt people. So he probably dealt with a lot of hurt and pain when he was younger or even at the time. And so then in turn, he turned around and did exactly to me probably some of the things that he dealt with. So I wouldn't rule out that maybe he dealt with some molestation.
Yeah.
Chris said, "How do you feel about your new stepdad, i.e., himself?"
Well, to get on to that subject, he can be a pain in the butt, you know, but you know, most of the time he's a very silly, goofy person. That's why we click. So overall, he's a good person. I like him.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, Courtney, you can forgive and move on. Yeah, yes, exactly. You have to be able to forgive. If I don't forgive him, I'm holding on to it. So I have to forgive him. My forgiveness is not for him, it's for me. Chris said, "Aw,
Hmm.
you making me emotional."
Oh my gosh.
You know he kind of soft. He be trying to play hard.
I know. I already know.
He said my eyes getting watery. Do the stepdaddy. Do the stepdaddy.
Mom, you don't have any questions you want to ask me?
Ashley, you're a mess. Let me think. Oh, hold on. One more question from Doris. She says, "How did your boys adjust to your daughter?" Um, they latched onto her immediately. Ever since Jaden, because Jaden's my oldest child, ever since he was little, Jasmine has always been a part of his life for the most part. So I would say them two have the closest relationship. Like they're like this. Definitely. They're really, really super close. Talking all the time, like crying when they have to leave each other, and just they're super close. So the way that they adjusted perfectly fine, because it was always like when Jaden was little, he didn't understand. He just knew this is my sister that just don't live with me. That's all he knew. And I will say this: I've never actually sat and had a conversation really with either one of my boys. My sons are 12 and 17. Yeah, 17, Jaden be 18 soon. So I never really actually had a conversation with him about the whole situation, how they felt about it, or anything like that. But as far as gravitating towards a relationship with her, that was instant. There was never no. It was always this my sister, and that's it. Chris talking about Martin crying face. He's a mess.
Are you gonna do these talks with Jaden?
Huh?
And JR? Are you gonna do a live talk with Jaden and JR?
I can't know.
No.
Okay. Jaden's too goofy, first off, and so is JR.
They will play.
You couldn't ask him no questions for real to get an actual real answer out of them. They not at that stage yet. Probably when they like 25.
You're right.
Chris said he loves you too. He said you owe him $30.
For?
I have no idea what he's talking about. That's a conversation y'all must have had. I don't think I have any questions. I didn't come prepared.
I don't have any questions either. Well, let me think.
How about this? This may not be pertain much to like our relationship. If you had a chance to move to Florida, would you come?
I would. Well, honestly, with the high rate of COVID y'all got out there right now, I wouldn't be looking to move there right now. But if it goes back to the norm, no. I don't like hurricanes.
Said no for both things.
Remember when we lived out there? We was in Hurricane Jean, Wilma, France. We was in all them hurricanes. No.
Texas got them tropical. Texas got them what they got? Floods and tropical storms.
Okay, Texas. Okay, but that's common.
Tornadoes.
No. We don't have tornadoes. I haven't been through a tornado yet. I've been through a tornado watch, and the storm passed over, but I haven't been through an actual tornado here yet. I've been through too many hurricanes in Florida to actually say I want to move back.
There was something that happened in Texas a couple years ago. I feel like it might have been a flood or something. I don't know.
It probably was a flood.
Texas got a high rate of COVID too.
Yes, Texas does have a high rate of COVID, but Orlando is booming. Orlando, Florida, period, is booming.
No, Florida, Miami, Florida is booming.
Florida is booming.
Don't do my city. We kind of safe around these parts. Kinda. Hurricanes. It was a hurricane in Texas.
What about you? Would you say that you would be up to coming to visit Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said that. She said hurricane too. I've said that a couple times actually. Me now getting down to doing it is what I just need to do is just do it. I've said multiple times like I'm gonna come visit Texas. I'm gonna come be there. I'm gonna come visit you, and because most of the visits is usually me flying you to come see me instead of me flying to come see you. But yes, no, you ain't, Chris. You might as well stop. Yes, definitely. Plus, I've never been to Texas before, so I would like to see how it is. You don't even like it that much.
I don't, but definitely come out here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd be bored. So it would definitely, I don't like it, but when somebody comes, like visits, it's so fun to show them around.
Yeah. You can see this and this, and we got this food place here and this water park here.
30 times every time you pass it, but you haven't seen it, so it's cool to show you.
That's normal. Alrighty. Okay, I think we've been on here long enough.
All right,
I think everyone kind of got the gist of our mother-daughter relationship, life of an adoptive child in the mind of Jasmine Taranas. As y'all can see, she still has her last name. Her choice.
My choice. The reason I chose it. Okay, can I explain why I chose it? Because a lot of people like to ask me why you don't have both last names.
What'd you say?
You hear me, Mom?
I can hear you.
I said, can I explain why I don't have both last names?
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
So it's not that I didn't want the last name because, of course, growing up, I had to put Tarana Reams, Tarana Reams, Tarana Reams. But when I got to high school, I guess I didn't want to put Tarana Reams. It was just it wasn't so much like I didn't want the last name. It was just like, dang, that's an extra long name for no reason. Like Jasmine Tarana. It was so simple. And I feel like it was me because that's the name I was given when I was born. So it was like, I always just put Jasmine Taranes. It wasn't knocking that I didn't want their last name, you know? It was just like, that's me. That's how I was born, you know? So I like to stick to it.
Yeah. So they changed your name when you were, not when you were born. They changed your name when they adopted you. And you was like, no, I'd rather just go with the name that was on my birth certificate.
Yeah. And then it's on my social. It says Jasmine Janae Taranes. So it's like, y'all making me put Reams. And on my social, I don't have a social that says Reams on it. I don't have a social, you know what I'm saying? That has my middle name that they changed, you know? So it's like, I was like, well, I'm older now. And what's on my social I got to put? What's on my ID I got to put? So Jasmine Taranes, Jasmine Janae Taranes, I put my government name, because technically that is my government name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, this was good. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed hearing your side and asking you some questions. I had fun. I kind of thought it was going to turn out like this, so I was thinking, don't be nervous. It's not going to be that bad.
I know.
Chris talking mad stuff. You need to get on. You need to go ahead and text him and tell him, cuss him out a couple times.
Yeah.
He'll leave you alone.
I'm reading it.
Dang, what happened to my mouse? All right. Well, we'll hop off live. I want to thank everyone that was on here, that listened to us, that stayed the entire time, that asked questions. I enjoyed all of you guys. I obviously enjoyed my daughter. I thank you guys for asking the question that you had. I hope that we were able to be as transparent as possible. And next week is the final week for Let's Talk Friday Skin Deep Edition. Next week is the couples week. So next week will be me and Chris being on here asking some deep questions that he better answer. I'll have no problem with answering. So we're gonna get on here. We're gonna ask them. We're also gonna have a little surprise for you guys at the end of that. So make sure you guys tune in next Friday, same time, 8:30. It's more like 8:45. Let's just go 8:45 because that's about the time we usually get on. I say 8:30 and then I don't get on until 15 minutes later. So let's just go at 8:45. We'll be on here. Me and Chris will be on here, and then we'll have a special surprise for you guys afterwards. So you do not want to miss Let's Talk Friday next Friday. I don't know the dates, but I'll be posting it for you guys. Okay? Chris said he ain't gonna be here. He booked. All right, whatever. Anyways, bye guys.
Bye.